Hello and welcome back to another Let's Build with me, Jim from Digital Adventures. Today I will be creating the worst game ever made in Scratch. This game, GameStop once said, was one of the most atrocious games ever published. This game is called Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. It was made in 2003, and all you do is drive a big truck across the country, and you just do that, and that's all you really do. So we're going to be creating that game today. First, over here we see I have some sprites. I've created a bunch to start. The first one I've created is the mountain. I'm going to set that size to let's do 20 for now. And the reason I have a mountain is so that when we're driving across this long country road, it'll get slightly bigger over time, and that'll make it seem like we're going somewhere instead of just sitting still forever. When green flag clicked, we're going to make it really small to start. Set size to 30. And then we want to go to the back layer. And always and forever, wait a minute, or not a minute, wait 1 second, and then change our size by 0.1. So over time, it will get bigger. I promise. It doesn't look like it now, but it will get bigger. So that was pretty simple. The next thing we're going to do is control our steering wheel. And it will hopefully, if we can do this right, it make the background objects move as well, so it looks like we are moving left and right with our truck. Because the steering wheel and the truck cabin are going to stay still, and the rest of the project will move. So the first thing I need to do is make a variable. I already have one here called truck position, but we can just make sure you make it for all sprites. Truck position, and this will allow all the other sprites to read this information later when they need to move left and right. Okay. When green flag clicked, what I'm going to do is wait a very short amount of time and then bring this truck to the front. So that way it will start in front. And in case some other sprite needs to go in front, this one will wait a little bit and even go in front of that one. So that just makes sure I can be in front of it. Next, let's set our truck position to 0. And then make sure our steering wheel is pointed upright. Okay. Now, forever, we always want to be able to turn. So we need 2 if statements, one for left and one for right. And we will say key, right arrow, and left arrow. So I got the left arrow and the right arrow. Now I only want to move to the right if I haven't turned too far yet. So I'm going to have a limit. So to create a limit on how far I can turn to the right, I'm going to say if I'm only going to be allowed to do turning motion if my truck position is less than 100. As long as it's less than 100, I should be able to turn to the right. To turn to the right, we're just going to say turn 1 degree and change truck position by 1. Now let's do the exact same code, but for left. So I'm going to duplicate it. Instead of going that way, I'll do -1 and -1 for truck position. Now I have to flip this sign around, because now what we're saying is I want to only move to the left if my truck position is greater than -100. So that way I will not be able to turn left if I'm at -101. I can only turn left if I'm above this number here. So that will prevent us from moving too far left and right. So let's just test this out real quick. I'm gonna move to the right and you can see the truck position's moving. I get to 100 and I can come back. And then the other side should prevent me from going to minus 101. There we go. Perfect. So the next thing I need to do is actually move the truck. So I'm not moving the truck though. I'm just moving the background. So it looks like we're moving the truck and driving on this long road. To do that, I'm going to go into my ground first. And I'm going to say, when green flag clicked, set my X to 0. And then I will forever set my X to the truck position. Now this is going to look weird because I move right, I'm going left. It's like opposite, right? So how do I make it opposite? Or how do I flip it back around so it looks correct? Is I can just grab a minus block here. Do that. We can say 0 minus truck position. That should set us in the middle. And now if I turn to the right, my background moves left. And there you go. I'm moving. So it doesn't look like I'm driving anywhere just yet, but that is because I do not have yellow dashes on the road. Now I'm inside of the dashes sprite for this one. I want to make it so that just no matter what, I'm just going to go the same speed and the dashes are just going to keep coming. The best way to do this, when green flag clicked, we're going to create a clone every second or so, and then we're just going to fly these dashes down the middle of the road. We want this object to hide to start. Then forever, wait 1 second, create clone of myself, and this will create a bunch of dashes. Every 1 second, a dash will be created, but it will not do anything and it will be hidden. So the next thing I need to do is show it up when its clone is created. So when a clone gets made, we are going to show that dash, and we're going to make it very small in the beginning. Set size to 5%. Oh, see, it started, it goes right here, but I don't like that. It needs to start all the way up here. And we're going to go to, I think the number here I'm going to change based on where these guys pop up, because I think they will pop up not quite in the exact middle. I think it'll be something around 0.65. Let's see. That's not even close. Oh, 65. That's weird. Okay, so that's close, but I need it over about 5 pixels, so I'll do that. If I drew my ground perfectly, then that would be great, but I didn't. There you go, starts in the middle. So next what I'm going to do is something similar to the road. I will do forever, where is it? Yep, forever. Set the X position to something minus the truck position. Now, since this dash is starting at 5, I have to do 5 minus the truck position. Otherwise, it'll kind of skew off to the left or to the right. So if I started at 5, it'll come straight down the middle. Now, I also want it to move toward us. I'm going to do change size. I'm going to say change size by 0.5. Whoa, so they get bigger over time. That's great, but I also need to move it downward. And I'm going to move it downward based on its size increase. So this will be a sort of a way we can make everything look the same distance. So I'm going to say change y by, and I'm going to do a little bit of math here. We're going to use a multiplier. Whoops, the star right here. I'm going to say minus 0.03. I did this math earlier, played around with it until I saw something that looked good. So minus 0.03 times the size. And this should get me should get me them not moving because I did change X by. So that's what I did wrong. I need to change Y by. Let's grab that. Happens to everyone. There we go. So I've got my roads. They are not getting too big. Let's see, is that all right? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, there we go. I'm moving. Now we need some more interesting things to see while we drive. And these are going to be inside of left things and right things. Now for left things, I am going to do very similar code to what we just did. I'm going to start with the when green flag clicked. I'm going to hide it forever and wait. And we're going to wait a random amount because we don't want them to be as consistent as the lines. So that it looks like you're driving down a road with buildings. They're in different spots. So I'm going to do 0.5 to 10. Maybe, yeah, that'll be fine. And I will create a clone of myself. Perfect. The next thing I'll be doing is telling these clones to show up, obviously, and then moving them down and to the left. Because these are going to be on the left side, they're going to go at this angle. So we're going to accomplish that. We're going to show. We are going to set its position. We're going to say go to X, Y. We're going to say for the X, we'll figure that. I think -5 will be fine. And for the Y, we'll stay at 65. Now we are going to set a costume because we have 3 in here. So we have 3 different things you'll see. You can add as many as you'd like. And we'll switch it. And if you do pick random, 1 to the 3, which is how many costumes I have, it will pick one of those 3, which is very handy. And lastly, let's move it forward a little bit so it's in front of all the other layers. We'll say move forward 3 layers. Now we want to make an X for this sprite as well, but for this sprite only. So each one of these clones will get their own X variable. And this is going to track the position of our thing. And I'm just going to call it, start at -5, just like that one. And we are going to lastly set the size to 10%, so it's very small, off in the distance. We need to make it bigger. Forever. First thing, forever. Inside the forever loop. So once we set it up, they are appearing, which is great, but we need them to move down and to the left, just like things on the side of the road would. Let's take care of that set X position block. We're going to set our X to our current X position minus the truck's X position, truck position. And this will make sure that wherever we move left and right, it'll follow the same same movement as the background. Now, if we want to move to the left, we also need to change our X by -1. And so that way when, oh no, just running away. It looks like it's just moving to the left for no reason. We also need to make it come downward and get bigger, right? So we're going to say change size by, let's do 0.5 because that's what we did with the lines. And we will change our Y by, and so we're going to move it down. We're going to use some math here again. We're going to say 0.03. Oops, I need to multiply it. Grab the multiplier. Minus 0.03 times the size. So it will be similar to the dashes. Okay, so dashes are coming in. I don't see, oh, there's my first sign. So there's my sign telling me to buy things. It's off the side of the road. Very good. I think they're kind of moving in a little close here, so we're gonna pop them out a little bit more. We're gonna say -3. See how that goes. Yeah, that's pretty much right. Okay, pretty good. So that's what it would look like if you were driving. I think they're moving a little fast. Let's slow them down. Since they are off the side of the road, they should be a little slower than the dashes that are directly in front of us. If I do that, then I gotta make this -2. You know, there's a little bit of tweaking you have to do to kind of get the math right, but once you get it, it'll do that forever. Okay, there we go. So now I'm driving, and there's only things on the left side. To put something on the right side, I can grab all of the code in here and just put it into the right things and then change a couple numbers. So in right things, I will change that to a 5, change that to a 5, so it starts on the right side, and then I will change this to a 2, so it moves to the right. And once I've made those small changes, press the green flag, I should get things on the left and right side of the screen. So there you go, house on the right, and we have some trees, and some buy things signs. So we just drive, make sure I'm gonna drive on the right side of the road so I don't, you know, less dangerous. Let's move over there. So now I've got some houses, some billboards I'm seeing. There you go. One little thing I could do here, I kind of forgot, is we want to get rid of these when they touch the bottom. So you can do that with another when I start as clone, forever. Well, actually, no, let's do a wait until. It's easy enough. Wait until your X position or your Y position is less than, let's do like -170, so that way they get to about down here, and then we'll delete them, and we'll say delete this clone. So that one's in there. I can move one over here to the left things. So now this one should have it. Sometimes, oh, there it is. Okay, and then I'll also want one in dashes, so I can drag that right in if it lets me. There you go. So once that is in there as well, all of these will delete once they reach the bottom. That'll prevent the game from kind of freezing up or not letting you build any more clones. So there you go. This is the worst game ever made. So enjoy it, you know. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a fun time trying to build this. It's pretty silly, but you can check out some of the other tutorials we have of some games that maybe are more exciting. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, of course, and tell your friends. Show off all your games that you make to your friends too. Goodbye.